Hey, guys, thank you for coming out and enjoying or watching later the crossover sports podcast episode 63. Right now, it is. Right now, I'm rocking out with Amina. Hopefully, Andre and Matt will be up in here later. But we are rocking out on the next to last show of 2017. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy end of Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa in a couple of days. For those of you that celebrate that, and a happy New Year. We are rocking out. Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself, Amina.
Hey everyone, it's Amina. We have some things to talk about. As Colin says, our episode, next to last episode 2017. So we're going to talk about some things, that's been going on over the year and hope everyone enjoys the show.
Yes, we have a lot of great topics to get to. Might just be the two of us, but we're gonna rock out. It's not the first time that we've done a podcast with just the two of us. Let's go get them. First off, as we always start this joint, we have our crossover hot takes. For those of you that don't know, this may be your first time listening. Excuse me. Our crossover hot takes are topics that are not necessarily sports related. That this is where we get into our entertainment, political, local news. This is the segment to that. So, with our first topic, we're gonna talk about LeVar Ball, Mr. Big Baller Brand himself, has decided to start a sports league. So, Amina, is this the end of the NCAA? Take off.
Um, when I first heard it, it was earlier this week. I think I heard it about maybe Wednesday, possibly. Okay, LeVar Ball is the founder, I would say, of his company that he does with his sons called Big Baller Brand, and he's getting noticed out there for his ways of how he handles his sons, lives and careers. But what he came out this week that he wants to do is to set up a legit basketball league for young men who do not wish to go to college, and the main requirement is they have to be a high school graduate. Um, I think it's a great thing because not every person, especially a black person, is going to college. People are waking up and realizing that college isn't all what it's cracked up to be concerning the length of time you're spending in there, student loan situations, um, the inability to find employment in your major after graduation. Still, people can't move along in their life, to set up their own home or whatever with their degrees. And you have people with degrees that are, unemployed or working menial jobs such as fast food, retail, or custodian jobs. So there has to be other options for youth that don't wish to partake in the college experience. In the black community, up until I guess the 80s or early 90s, a whole lot of black people in troves year after year were graduating from tech schools, vocational technical high schools, where they would graduate after being in high school for 4 years with legitimate bona fide skills and certifications that made them serious money. The feds caught on to what was going on. Boom, they take funding out the community, they take trade schools out the schools, and then they ushered in the college craze of the 80s and 90s, which leads a lot of our people into debt with no success. So I'm glad, LeVar Ball coming out saying this. I hope it comes to fruition because at the end of the day, like I said, we do need other options. Not every child's adult story ends up in a college or university cap and gown. There are others. There's so many other success stories that I read about almost every day of youth doing things that have nothing to do with college. So youth have the mind to do things outside of the status quo. So this is a good thing because not every NBA player even went to college or even graduated. LeBron James, straight out of high school. Kobe Bryant, straight out of high school. Steph Curry, he went to college but he didn't finish. But still, he only has a high school diploma. So technically, he's straight out of high school too. So there are legitimate bona fide NBA players that don't have college degrees. The NCAA, if this does come to reality, they're going to be, financially impacted because people are going to go other routes. Because the NCAA has a requirement you have to be a college student, this, that, and third. So it's a wonderful thing that black men have options to make legal, honest money that they don't sell their soul out for. And our young brothers, they need resources to provide for themselves and their family that isn't Uncle Sam's military. There needs to be some type of, I would say, trust fund or financial pool in every community across the country where our famous athletes and celebrities routinely donate on a regular basis for this fund for youth that don't want to go to college but have other successful ventures or m- mindsets such as entrepreneurship. We have to invest in our youth, whether they want to go to college or not. College isn't the end of all things. Sure, it's nice to have a degree, but that's not everyone's success story. And there's celebrities also that are multimillionaires and billionaires that never stepped foot in a college campus in their life. So it's a good thing LeVar Ball is going in the right direction. I pray that people support him and get on the bandwagon with him because this is needed in our community because a lot of black children are feeling as though, oh, college, it's either college or the military. No, we don't do the military and you don't have to go to college, but there are other options, trade school, whatever. So this basketball league piece he wants to set up is a beautiful thing, and his three sons are young. Like I don't even think the oldest of his sons is 21 or 22 yet. So they can carry on the legacy of their father's dream as they get older, and when they have their sons, they keep it going as a family tradition. So I'm in full 100% support of the Ball movement, and I pray it gets going because I would like to see it happen. I would like to see other options and resources being allocated for our youth. But what do you think?
I think uh, I think that it's a marvelous start. I think that's definitely I think that's definitely deserved. Even though I know a lot of people think LeVar Ball is an arrogant a hole, a prick. There's a lot of things that people describe him as, and I think that he's a very smart businessman who, even though I might disagree with him a lot, he's done a smart thing. You know, he sees weakness on the NCAA's part, and now it's starting to come to fruition. Last year was the semi-pro league in football. Now this year it's basketball's turn. So LeVar Ball has capital now that he's making off the back of Lonzo Ball. So, he's doing exactly what these colleges are doing. He's trying to make money on the backs of somebody else. The colleges exploit, well, not I don't want to say exploit, but they use the names of star basketball players, star football players to make their schools money, and that's what uh, Lonzo LeVar Ball wants to do now. It, it's a given that it's only like 1 to 2% of the population that are actually athletes. So like it's not a big portion of the market he's trying to take. He's really trying to make money off of people, not even more like his son Lonzo, because let's be honest, they'll just treat people like the Lonzo Balls, the Ben Simmons of the world, the LeBron James, the Kevin Garnett's. They're not staying. So for me, like I'm happy, but I need to see where this puts them basketball development wise. I want to know if they would be better off going to Europe for a year than going than staying here and learning from LeVar Ball. I mean, honestly, his claim to fame is getting Lonzo in the NBA, working on Lamelo, and well, Lamelo's got game, and working on Leandro and Lamelo, helping them to get into the league. So we'll see. But right now, he's 1 for 3. He might end up being 3 for 3. But, I think for the NCAA should definitely be scared of this because as we've seen with the Junior Pro Football League, you now have competition, which the market demands. Maybe now you'll start paying your athletes a simple stipend. Everybody knows who watches this show that I am pro pay the players. So I keep pay the players. So now the NCAA has to put their money where their mouth is. And I'm excited about it because, now they have competition. Now people are trying to step up to the brass ring and take their prized possession, African American athletes, which is great. Now, will working with LeVar Ball and having that professional training get people to the NBA? We'll see. That's yet to be seen, but no, I remarked to Amina off air a couple of days ago. Who would have thought it would take LeVar Ball to be all like, you know what? I see weakness on the NCAA's part, and I think I can make money by paying the players $10,000 per game and just going from there and teaching them something. Now I hope that he can teach the basics. I know that he taught his sons everything, but it's one thing to teach your kids and quite another to teach somebody else who's not related to you. So I want to see that first, but I think that this is great for him. It's definitely bad for the NCAA. It's great for basketball fans who want to see their favorite basketball players play. I mean, it's going to be excused that that's my landline. It's going to definitely be bad if you're a fan of any kind of basketball team. Good basketball, it's going to take a while for these players to develop. And then when they get to my whole question is, will these players be developed? Because actually, we were just talking about Ben Simmons at work. Ben Simmons could have benefited from staying in college another year. Now, Ben Simmons wasn't going to class. He admitted that. But basketball-wise, he could have definitely spent another year in college. And, as Amina said, you don't have to go to college to be famous. This is 2017. All you really need is a YouTube channel and a strong opinion, and you can make money. I mean, but, this is what I'll say to this, right? Technology right now, the advancement of technology is causing lazy education. So this is what I mean by that, right? So you have people that are not educated and they're able to spread opinions. And this goes for sports and everything else. And so they develop a circle of influence. That circle of influence goes based on the knowledge of them, and they become influence leaders and change makers. And there's some people that's not a thing. Now, if I say everybody got to go to college, I'm not saying that. But you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a me or an Amina to go to school. We're a certain type. It does take a certain type to get through college. Black, PWI, whatever. It takes a lot to get through college. You got to mentally prepare yourself for that. But, I just think that, again, much like with athletes, I just gave y'all a number. I think that figure is a lot smaller than I'm making it out to be. I think they say like it's about 2 to 3% of the population that are athletes and actors. So it's a very small percentage of people that are athletes and actors, and you have a very small percent. You basically have a good 1 to 2% of different communities in this country. Some of them trying to become athletes. They try to become a part of the 2 to 3% of the country, right? And it just doesn't work. Everybody's not going to be Lonzo Ball. Everybody's not going to be Ben Simmons. My worry with this is it's going to encourage people that need to be in college to go get paid instead of chasing basketball skills and chasing education. Because let's be honest, in basketball, just like in football, in basketball, as Gordon Hayward showed this year, you are always one leg injury away from never playing basketball again. So I'd rather you take advantage and go to college than just take the money, develop your basketball skills, only to have something terrible happen because you landed wrong on a dunk or a 3-pointer. You know, I'm all for the players getting paid. I really hope that they get paid within. I really hope they get paid soon. But you know that you got to weigh the pros and cons. And there's a pro working with Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball, but the con is that you might not be getting the development, especially if he don't deem you as somebody who's worthy to challenge his son. You could find yourself in something different. I think players need to take that into consideration. Really would think, and I hate saying this because it goes against my character, but after I even hear myself, I feel like I'm happy for this, but I feel like you're better off either going and making sure you have your own trainer and making sure that you keep yourself in tip-top shape to be ready for the NBA, or going to college for the year, chalk the loss, get your endorsement deals, become a top 5, top 10 pick, and make your money. You know? Meaning, you got anything to add?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Dre? Uh, all right. Matt's coming in. Yes. Okay. So Dre's here. Dre, we're on LeVar Ball and him starting a sports league. So, what's your opinion? Well, a basketball league. You know what I mean. So, what's your
Um, you know what? I'm always excited to see, black men do their thing and try to take over something. Uh, I don't know if he necessarily going to be successful with it. I mean, I wish him the best. I hope everything works out. But he got to realize, like, he really should get around. Like, he should work with like Sonny Hill, people that have been doing it for years, and ask them like the best way to do it. But then I guess some people argue, they might have old ways, and he might have a new, fresh idea that can really work. And if you try to always, it's not going to work. You know, I like the idea though that players go straight to this league instead of going to college. I really don't think college is for. Well, I know college ain't for everybody. Some players are just going to school just to play ball, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport, hockey. Um, I just don't understand why they got to go to college. I understand. Well, not understand. I take that back because they're trying to develop them more as men and trying to get them some education and mature their game and so they won't be so unpolished. Their game will be more polished. They'll know the basics. They'll know how to run a business, an empire, how to handle all this kind of money that's about to come at them. You know, but I still disagree with it. I like the fact that Brandon Jennings did his own thing. He went international, and he was like, you know what? I'm not going to college. He was like, it's going to be a waste of time to me because I'm not going to be like he said, I don't want to be sitting in class. And you know yourself better than anybody knows you. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. If you want, especially if you want to get your family out of a situation that's horrible into a situation that's great, like instantly, like overnight. So, but I think it remains to be seen. But I think it's a great idea. Will he be successful? I'm up in the air on that.
okay? I mean, you got anything else to add?
No, I think I said pretty much everything I had to say.
All right. Moving right along to our second one. All right, guys. We have to do this. We haven't had to do this. Oh, there's Matt. Matt's back. Oh my goodness, yo,
Mr. Mac.
Matt is
What's up, yo?
Matt is back up in the place. For those of you, I know y'all Matt fans, y'all have been missing resident, our resident leader of not caring and saying what's on his mind. He has made a move to New Orleans, and we are welcoming him back. Well, not New Orleans, Shreveport. He has made the move to Louisiana. He's down there. So all you Saints fans at him and everything else. At Small Red Horn, at him. I'm sure he's raring to go on the debate. But yes, he's back. So Matt, we're on LeVar Ball starting this basketball league. What you think? And is the NCAA in trouble? Go ahead.
First off, let's start with LeVar Ball, right? Number one, I mean, if he wants to start a league, that's fine with him, and it doesn't put the NCAA in any issues or concerns as far as one is concerned. However, the one thing that I would say to that is it's the way that he's starting it. And the reason why he's starting it. He's starting it because of his son. Because of his son. That's my problem with that. It's because it's one thing you want to start a league and it's a mission statement, say you want to, help kids bypass college or whatever case may be. But the law of the land is the NBA, and they say you must do at least 1 year of school, and then I budget from that. Now, he could help by being a partner, if you will, to turn the G League into a full-blown minor league system, which I've been advocating in this podcast from the jump. But as far as him going to make a league, it's his intentions I'm more concerned about. What is your intention? If your intention is to, make sure that all three of your boys become NBA ball players, particularly for one franchise, I question your motive. I mean, and I'm also concerned is this man profiting off his children? I mean, I'm not against us brothers, supporting one another, but it's the way you do it, and when and how you do it. There's one thing you have a burden for son, you got a heart for son. That's one thing. There's another thing you do it because of or in spite of, and that's not cool. And look, college gonna be fine. It's been there for who knows how long. The college game ain't going nowhere, and it won't be hurt because of of this. They've been through worse, so this is nothing.
All right, we're moving right along. Uh, guys, I'm a little upset. I'm not really upset, but we're going to have to do this topic without our Ravens fan, Courtney, because I know she's probably going to win on this topic. But we got to do it without her. We got to soldier on without her. Ravens president, the Ravens president, Tim, what's his name? Is it Tim? I want to say Tim Scott, but I think I'm getting him confused with the senator from South Carolina. So I won't say Tim, but Tim something is the president of the Ravens, and he said the season ticket holders, basically saying that he postulates that the reason there's an SAT word, postulate. He postulates that the reason why he's noticed a significant drop in attendance at Ravens games, right? And his thought is he blames it on the anthem protests. So, guys, is he crazy? As Matt would say, is he crazy or is he on to something? Go ahead, Matt.
No, I'm gonna let Dre go first. I gotta hear all this nonsense.
Forget you, Matt. I ain't got no nonsense. All I got is clarity. I mean, probably like whatever.
Not according to my sources.
Far as the Ravens president, yeah, of course, it has an effect on the viewership. Why wouldn't it? But that's the whole point of the movement, to gain attention, whether it be good or bad, whether it affect the league good or bad. But that's not the whole problem for the league now. I believe a lot of stuff they do is hurting the league. I think the Saturday football is hurting the league. Like, nobody wants to watch a game on Saturday. People look forward to it on Sunday. Like, you only got so many days in the week. So now you're taking away my Saturday, and I got to dedicate my Saturday to watching football when college games are on Saturday. And like, most people like to watch college. They watch the NFL. I personally don't watch because it's too many bowls and everything going on. Whatever. But the Thursday night football, it's all right. I like the uniforms, the color rush uniforms. I think they're pretty cool. But I think it's an easy cop out. Like, it's funny. They always blame the black guy. It's his fault that this is happening. Oh, really? Yeah, it's my fault they shooting me too, huh? I'm just being black, and they still shooting me for just being black. Like, of course, some of the guys that had stuff happen to them, they were doing wrong things, but they didn't deserve to die. If anything, they deserve to be disciplined. That's it. The white criminals get away with it all the time. They'll shoot up a whole school, and then they try to walk in and speak to them. Let us, I don't know, sell cigarettes outside of a store. We get choked to death. I can't breathe. Tell the owner about that. I can't breathe.
Mina, go ahead.
Yeah, this is all tied into how people's feelings are all coming out one by one. First, it was the Saints fans suing the Saints because of the anthem protest. Now it's a letter being sent to fans about low attendance from in Ravens games. Something's gonna happen in each team. It's just this is just the second one, but they can't blame the anthem protest or Colin Kaepernick or whatever for low attendance. For generations, people go to football games, basketball games, whatever other other sports games teams they support, and they expect just a game. They don't want nothing political. They don't want nothing controversial. They don't want nothing that's conversation. So for the last 2 years, basically, the NFL has had a shakeup. From players to fans to people that financially support, and people are getting weeded out from the wheat to the tar. It's very rather interesting how people aren't going to football games anymore, all because of this movement that Kaepernick started. It's messed up. It's like you're that allergic to this movement that you no longer want anything to do with something that you were diehard for up until 2 years ago. The low attendance rates at these stadiums for these games this season has nothing really to do with the movement. It has to do with people not wanting to have conversations to truly start a healing process. People don't want to admit what is going on daily and nightly in this country and throughout the world. People, so to speak, they want life to be in a nice little box with a pretty ribbon all the time, and that's not how it's going to be. This movement needs to be addressed on not only a national level but an international level, since people across the globe are participating in it. Because this is going to keep happening. I mean, this movement is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's here to stay. So people need to come together, have dialogue, and to truly start the conversation to rectify even a tenth of what's plaguing this country. Because it has nothing to do with the military, it has nothing to do with blacks, it has nothing to do with kneeling or the flag. It has to do with people being petty and arrogant and not wanting their bubble in life to be bust open. They want everything to be how it used to be, and no, every generation has their own specific movement, and this is the movement for this generation. So people need to get comfortable with it. It's not going anywhere. Get used to it. Get used to how people handle the movement. How get used to various people and organizations coming out to support the movement. In all opinion, the people that remain now that go to these sports games at these stadiums, they're the ones to truly support the players and support this movement. But the ones who are suing the teams and selling their season tickets, they're the ones that don't. So I think it's a good
I'll
thing, and
take them.
I think that it's a good thing that
I'll take them too.
I think that it's a good thing that stadium attendance rates are low because it truly exposes the who from the ain't. So it has nothing to do with the anthem protest. It has to do with people not wanting to deal with the mess that's going on in our country that we need to deal with sooner rather than later because dark days are coming and they're getting darker in this country. But
Or maybe the fact that the Ravens stink. Let's start there. Maybe the Ravens stink. Maybe the fact they probably not going to the playoffs. Maybe the fact that, they're not the same Baltimore Ravens that they used to be. Maybe because of the fact. Maybe because
Matt,
the
you
fact.
crazy.
Maybe, I mean, let's cut. And you gonna blame the fans for the poor product and the poor play on the field. You gonna blame the fans for your poor product.
Matt, I gotta stop you right there. I need my Ravens fan to come back on this show. I need you to just speak truth. I need you to speak truth to
But
power. I need her to come
look.
and when she hears this week or next week, I don't need her at my throat talking about. I can't wait to get on here to tear Matt apart. I don't need that. I don't need that in my
I
life.
welcome it with open arms. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you give me a better product on the field, then maybe people might come out put butts in the seats. If you give me better play on defense, maybe there's better butts in the seats. I don't, but you don't blame people because it's the national anthem and really we're past that now. Okay, we have here the season's almost over and you're on your way out of playoff contention.
He's
Okay.
pathetic. That owner's pathetic for blaming the fans. No,
No,
blame
you
the
know,
protest for
no, no, no.
for bad membership,
No, 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 no,
bad
no, no, no,
attendance.
no, no, no. Look, my thing is this: you knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going on. You knew you was going to take a dip as an owner. You knew this was going to happen, and sit here blame the fans because of I don't know, not enough people kissing your butt to I don't know, support your team. If my team's not going to the playoffs, why should I have to even come to your stadium in the first place? I mean, gee whiz.
But
Find a way to
Matt,
get the.
but Matt, that's being a
Right.
loyal fan. That shows what that fan base is about. Because guess what? That would never happen in the Eagles fans. We loyal. Browns fans, they loyal. The Browns
I
don't
don't
win
know.
anything.
I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. If you seen the Browns, if you seen Cleveland Brown Stadium, I'll be honest with you, that thing's more sparse than a. That makes more sparse than a terribly played high school football game. Look, look. I'm not gonna give the Browns a pass, okay? Because they suck. I mean, that's the only pass they get is the fact they stink. But it is the Baltimore Ravens, and you gonna pass the buck on the fans? I don't think so. What you need to do is pretty much get behind your players, get behind your players and get behind your fan base and let them know, you know what, this is a terrible year. We're gonna retool, reload, whatever, and go back at it 2018. Because I don't want to hear none of this nonsense. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. No excuses. Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens have not been the Baltimore Ravens. Pittsburgh's been kicking your behind, has been kicking your tail for quite some time now. And you know what? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. By the way, can you please explain to me why the Buffalo Bills and any team in the American Football Conference Western Division is pretty much the next two teams of wild card, and you're in the hunt. You knew we were going to get in the playoffs.
How about this? How about this, Matt? The team be proactive.
All
right. So if the protest is your problem, why not hire Kaepernick, talk to him about the issues, and then start working with him so we can stop the protests altogether? But you just want to complain about it. You complain there. You part of the problem. You the part of the solution. You part of the problem. You got to make something happen.
True. But at the end of the day, you can sit here and gripe, bitch, complain about all you want. But at the same time, but look, what you do off the field, if you need to lead, if players lead, like Michael Jacobs, he went as far as went to Harrisburg, okay, to talk to legislators and everything else, just to see what can be done in their respective communities, and I respect that totally. But what have you done for me lately in the state of Baltimore? What have you done for me lately in the state of Maryland, in the city of Baltimore? What have you done for me lately in the community side of things? Okay, do you have to pay? If that becomes a PR problem and it spews over, then that sounds like something you need to address. Not mind the fact that the field of play sucks. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry as an Eagles fan. I don't care. You're on the outside looking in, and you trying to get in the playoffs. So cry me a river all you want. You can see you go poo, but to the fans and give them a new whole about fan support shit and stuff like that. But your team stinks. If your team stinks, you're going to see the results like you see in Cleveland. I don't want to hear it. No excuses. Put a better product on the field. Mic drop.
At Small Red Horn. At Small Red Horn. If you want to add him. Man, listen. I really don't have nothing to add, but there's only one thing Matt missed his soliloquy. The Baltimore Ravens president, to Tim, whatever your last name is. You are in one of the poorest cities in the country, and Ravens tickets are about, I think I saw this online, so don't quote me on this, they're about $230. Now, you really think a city where that's one of the top cities in poverty, all of a sudden these poor citizens that live in the city that you play in, right? this is a city that you chose. You know, y'all chose to be the heart of the city, the heart of Baltimore outside of Orioles baseball. Shouts out to all the Orioles fans. I didn't forget you. There's the resident baseball shout out for the podcast. You know, we have that. We have them. But you live in one of the poorest cities, and you are in the football. We all know them football tickets are expensive. If you ever looked at an Eagles game, at any kind of football team game, you know them Jones go at least for $200 or above. You can't even get a cheap ticket at an NFL game. And you got the nerve to blame Colin Kaepernick for the fact that, yeah, so it was Colin Kaepernick that told you, hey, yo, move to Baltimore. That'll be great for you. You might get a couple championships, but later on, towards the end of 2017, you're going to be down in attendance. Not because of how...
Oh, you know what? I just remember. Sorry to cut you. I just remember. Remember the time where he almost signed with the Ravens. He almost did. Something happened that, you know, talks fell through, but he was about to be a second-string quarterback under Joe Flacco. So he was about to be a Raven. And that, I mean, that's kind of like he kind of feeling some butt burn about that one. So think about that.
But I'm sorry. Thank you, man. I'm sorry, but I can't take the president. He might not have been president at the time, but I know with Baltimore it doesn't really change. I have a hard time taking the fact that you want to ride your moral high horse down, sending letters to fans. Where were you, Mr. President, when Ray Rice was doing his dirt and hitting women? I bet you ain't writing a note to your fans then. Or how about when Ray Lewis did his dirt and had blood on his suit and then his limo? Did you write your letter then? Probably not. Were you with the team then? Probably not. But I bet you still...
It's the National Felons League. It's the NFL, the National Felons League. You know better than this.
Listen, y'all. You are all one. Even fixing your lips to say, it's because of Colin Kaepernick that I don't have. It's because of the national anthem protest. You're almost as dumb as the guy that we talked about last week who wanted to sue the Saints for the fact that they kneeled. And if he knew they were going to kneel, he wouldn't have bought tickets. Here's what
you know. I gotta say this right there. Me in the Louisiana area, I gotta say this to you. First things first, you got to be the most dumbest person to file a dumb lawsuit to waste people's tax money and time over that. Seriously. Go on.
And let me just say, man, listen. Tim, let me get this man's name right. Let me Google this man's name and get his name right for posterity because,
And I'm looking at the tickets right now, Colin. The cheapest ticket you get is for $30. Of course, that's a nosebleed. But if you want a good seat, you paying... Let me see. Oh, you got to be kidding me. 55... What, $5,556?
Exactly.
You got to be kidding me.
You paying a whole paycheck for a football game. That's what you're doing.
He's on his mind.
Exactly. And his name
I want some of that he's smoking. It's got to take you to the moon and back.
And his name is Dick Cass. I was way off in saying it was Tim something. Anyway, but Mr. Cass, Richard Cass, I'm assuming that's your name because most of the time when it's Dick, the first name is Richard. So Mr. Cass, why would you even fix your lips? And you're the president of the Ravens. You are really, it's only been 4 years. You are really not that far removed from the Ray Rice days for you to be writing letters talking about we're going to do better because we protested one time in London, not even on American soil. I believe that's why y'all not coming to the gates. No, it could just be because you're in a poor city and nobody wants to see Joe Flacco anymore. I don't even want to see Joe Flacco anymore. I'm much more interested in your running back that tap dances than I am in Joe Flacco. That's how boring Joe Flacco is. Not boring in a good way, not boring in the bad way, but we use it, as a term of endearment like a Tim Duncan. No, Joe Flacco is just boring. He's old, he's out of shape. It's time to let him go. I would say this if Courtney was here, I'd say it right now. Joe Flacco is bad. He's out of shape. He looks almost as old. He looks old and tired. It's time for him to go. It really is. But y'all want to ride on y'all high horse and say it's Colin Kaepernick's fault. No, dog, it's your fault for putting a poor product out there. Just like what happened to the Giants. Maybe you need to lose your job so you can understand whose fault it is. Moving right along to Amita's new favorite topic because she shared this. The CEO of Papa John's stepped down because of his anthem comments. So, guys, is Kaepernick's movement more powerful than ever before? And
Are we sitting here and we talk about this man and we telling me this man ain't got a job at his number 7? I mean, sorry, finish your question, sir. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, is his movement more powerful than ever before? That's the question. Go ahead,
Oh well,
man.
here you go. Powerful? I will not go that far to say it's more powerful than it was before. No, I'm not going that far. Okay. You've seen the ramifications of it. You've seen, like I said earlier, people like a lot of players and athletes and others alike are taking the proactive approach and not just protesting, but doing something. But going to their communities and talking to legislatures and everything else to make sure that this is not more than just a protest thing. This is literally protest in action. All right. We knew this was coming. We knew this was going to happen. You knew that Mr. Papa John himself could not keep his foot out of his mouth. And the more he kept his foot in his mouth, the worse it got. And the crazy part is that's the NFL's I got a thing. You have a sponsorship, and just cannot keep that foot out of your mouth because you worry about your bottom line, which, oh, by the way, your pizza's not that great anyway. So bear that in mind. Look, I mean, you Papa John's, man, makes Little Caesars blush. Okay, that's my opinion. And it's only $5 pizza. No endorsement here. So, but the thing is, even the head man of Little Caesars done more than this current CEO, this CEO that we're talking about right now. But you knew there was money involved, and you worry about your product and bottom line. Well, guess what? Everybody's taking a hit, and you don't like it. Well, guess what? You're out. Oops, my bad. Can't help you there, but now Papa John's had an image issue, image problem, a PR nightmare, if you will. So, now that he's out, they can rebuild from there and make better pizza. Because I'll be honest with you, that pizza sucks. Moving on.
Go ahead, Amina.
Yeah. So he steps down as CEO. I think he's still part of the company as far as possibly, having partial ownership or whatever. But as far as him being on TV, with those annoying commercials, that's no more as of 2018 next year. But it was eventually coming. I mean, he blamed basically black folks and this movement for the reason why the suckish companies um profits are low. No, it's suckish because you offer the worst product ever. And he put his foot in his mouth. He didn't think about what he was going to say before he said it. He was very impulsive, lack of consideration or tact, and it was a backlash. It backfired on him, and he got what was coming to him. My opinion: if you don't support this movement, if it's not for you, if you don't like it, if it doesn't sit well with you, just keep your opinions to yourself. Especially if you have a national platform like he did, because it draws you know negative backlash to negative attention, and this is where he is now. What I do know is that I'm glad that he exposed how he felt, so now people can know whether or not they want to support any future ventures he gets involved in or not. As far as I'm concerned, he deserves it. Like, seriously. You're basically saying that you support what this movement is fighting against. And as far as Colin Kaepernick's movement, is it more powerful than ever before? I would say no. It's not more powerful. It's just that it's becoming more of a success story. It's becoming more aggressive in how people are reacting to it. So it's not becoming more powerful. It is powerful in itself, but it is, as time goes on, exposing the deep rooted hatred individuals have for people of color and people that support police brutality and mob attacks and all that. It's exposing more of their deep buried sentiments and how they regard things. So it's not getting more powerful, it's just that it's getting more of a wider base of people talking. So, but as far as John Shatner, he has to go. He can take his boy Jerry Jones at the Dallas Cowboys with him, since he got almost 200 stores alone. But that's what I have to say about John Shatner.
Well, I agree with Amina. Um, it's not more powerful. If it was more powerful, we would see change in the legislation system. We would see laws being passed. We would see um, more talks, more of the conversation going on with people of power, not just people who are being brutalized by these situations, and they're affecting communities and families losing their loved ones because of police brutality. I mean, we got to look at it. Like, he attacked the NFL. He attacked the players of the NFL. That's a large, that's a large group of people to attack, and they got families, they got friends. So listen, everybody has somebody in their life. They be like, guess what? I got your back. If they don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. No. I said it the wrong way. If they don't mess with you, I don't mess with them. That's what I meant to say. So when he attacked the owners, we talking about billionaires. You don't think these billionaires got power? Like, they probably was like, who in the hell do he think he messing with? Oh, we gonna show him who he messing with. He think he had bad sales then? Wait till he go to the next quarter. He ain't gonna have nothing. They probably said, yank all the Papa John's in my stadium out. All the pieces we ordered, cancel them, everything. It's like he was asking for trouble. And it's like, dude, you're not that powerful, man. Don't forget where you came from. You gotta be humble. And he should have had a conversation like, listen, my sales is down. How can I help? No. But he wanted to be just like everybody else and point the fingers. It's Colin. It's the owners. It's the NFL. They're messing up my sales. Oh man, how you sales on now? And, and I read the article. Thanks for sharing it. I mean, he didn't even step down yet. He doesn't step down to next month. And like I said, he's still part of the company. He's still gonna be like on the one of the chairmen on the board. So he's not technically going anywhere. He just won't be the face of the company anymore. He won't be Tony Tiger no more. Now he's the guy in the back, pulling the strings. Now he's Geppetto. He's not Pinocchio anymore. So.
Literally, man, it's just the literal interpretation of what Bible said, man. What goes around comes around. Like, he wanted to be the dude. He wanted to be the dude. He wanted to be the guy. He thought it was okay because Jerry Jones said it and everybody else said it. He thought he was okay to say it. He forgot though. Like Dre say, when you come for the crown of the NFL, you better be prepared to get the horns, man, because they came for vengeance on him. That stock dropped as soon as not even before he finished saying the statement, their stock was already in the trash can. They were losing everything but the kitchen sink. What goes around comes around, Colin Kaepernick was a good soldier. He knew that he was probably going to lose his NFL career. I really hope it doesn't come to that, but he at least lost his 2017 to 2018 season. We know that, and it's a shame, man. But he's proven to be more to me. Some people, as you get some disagreement on this podcast within this question about is he more powerful than he was? I absolutely think he's more powerful than he was. Here's why I think that, right? Because a couple weeks ago, the NFL, we have even some disagreement on this, and y'all saw this a couple weeks ago. The NFL, because of Colin Kaepernick and what he did and how the NFL reacted to what he did, it caused the players to action. Now, I think a lot of times we forget, how long it takes a protest to really make an impact. Like, people forget. It took, we read about the Montgomery bus boycott, but truth be told, the Montgomery bus boycott, and I forget the time limit, but I know it took anywhere from 6 months to almost a year, maybe even 2 years or 3 years before they took the Montgomery bus company completely and almost out of business. Matter of fact, it was out of business. That's why they came up and said, all right, we'll integrate the buses. Because of the Montgomery bus boycott. It takes a while. Now, Colin Kaepernick's protest is very much farther along now because of it mobilized the players. Here's the overall point. Because of Colin Kaepernick's protest, it mobilized the players. The players say, okay, listen, we need this, and this. And sure, 45, Daffy Duck himself made it even worse by tweeting about it and everything, but the players got what they wanted. Now, some of us on this podcast think it was hush money, whatever. But they got money out of the NFL. Now, hopefully, it's more of a commitment than the NFL makes to breast cancer because that's been proven to be a sham. Hopefully, the players don't allow this to be a sham, and they need to make sure that whatever the NFL donates, they match so that they can. The Players Association needs to make sure that they match everything the NFL donates so they can continue to compete with the owners and make them give money. You're welcome, NFL Players Association. At Kyler W. Watson is my Twitter handle. Hit me up, and I will send you a resume so I can work for you in your strategy department. And you have all that going on. And so, yeah, I think it's definitely a little more powerful than usual. Now, he doesn't have a job, but let's be real. I've said on this podcast before, it's going to take an injury and stuff. And even then, we all talked about how Colin Kaepernick probably wouldn't play this year. It would take a major injury for him to play this year. The major injury happened to my quarterback, Carson Wentz, and still he sits on the sidelines. So, we totally misjudged the situation.
The Cleveland Browns still need a quarterback. Steve Harvey said it best. I don't know why they didn't call Colin Kaepernick yet.
True, very true. But it just shows. Teams. We made this part of this podcast too. Teams would rather lose than sign Colin Kaepernick. That's what 2017 is. It's the year of losses for the NFL teams because they rather take these losses than hire Colin Kaepernick. So it is what it is. But I definitely think his movement is powerful because we're talking about it now, almost a year, 2 years later. The NFL has money now earmarked to help social justice organizations. And like I said, hopefully the Players Association can put more pressure on them to do more than just that. But, there are some initial steps here. Though, despite what you may think of it, there are some initial steps here. And Colin Kaepernick, for all intents and purposes, if you take away everything, not including his job. So if I told you that, all right, not including his job as a starting quarterback, this man started a protest. It went nationwide because of TV coverage. Sure, he didn't get his job back, but it caused action among athletes in the high school, the collegiate, the middle school, all forms of schooling. It caused.
You're making a great point, Colin, and I'm gonna have to agree with you now because it's on all major news networks. Everybody's talking about it.
Right. It spurred people to action. Now, does he have his job? If you're measuring the success of his protest based on does he have a job? I mean, let's be real. We all knew he probably wasn't going to get a job. We all just were holding out hope that he would get one. But we knew he wasn't getting the job this year, right? It took Muhammad Ali how long? 2 to 3 years to get back in boxing? That's probably how long it's going to take Colin Kaepernick. He will most likely be 32, 33 when they finally give him a chance. I hate saying it, because y'all know I'm pro Colin Kaepernick, but that's what it is at this point. And so, I think
Yeah, I also saw something on Facebook. I think it was either yesterday or today, where someone made a valid point concerning Kaepernick. They said even if he hypothetically does get signed to a team, he's not in the same physical shape anymore that he was when he was playing football actively. So how effective could he truly be to a team now? I mean, he doesn't even have the bulk anymore in his body anymore. He's not determined.
You can say the same thing for Robert Griffin III.
Not so much determined, let himself go. Is that he's at the point where he either gets tired or not. So he's not dedicated workout routines, all that, to truly get his body back into the shape he was in. He's basically dedicating his life to social activism now. So how effective could he truly be to a team now? Not the past Colin Kaepernick, but current, as far as winning games and, getting the Super Bowls like he did. Because he won't be the same Colin Kaepernick physically if he gets back to a team that he was before he started this movement.
But somebody somewhere is going to want his services because they know full well their situation stinks.
But yeah, we got to weigh and balance. Is he even physically fit to even play football at this point?
Let me say this. Listen, Vince McMahon is trying to start the XFL again, so I'm not saying he needs to go there, but I'm just saying the XFL is getting ready to start again. Maybe Colin Kaepernick can go there for a little bit.
I'm excited. No. That's not sitting there, Colin. Because you know what the XFL want. They want more hits. So they basically asking for more concussions. True. Which is stupid to me. Because that's the whole issue that's another issue the NFL is having. The whole concussion situation is you can't hide it. Like we talked about it on the podcast before. It's affecting the game. And it's going to be the death of the game. unless they really change the game.
All right, y'all. Well, we done talked about that to death. We've been on this for like almost an hour now. We're gonna move on to our fourth topic. But before we get there, we
Fourth.
we got a lot going on in the sports world for a while. Some things that we haven't talked about that we will get to. A new term that was coined last week by our friend Reno, who also couldn't make it. Both my Georgetown connects couldn't make it today. We didn't get it. We didn't cover it, but we lost a couple more people to the storm to what did he call it? Pedo storm? Not pedo storm. Pedo storm, molestation storm, whatever he coined it. We lost last week. It was
You talking about the Me Too movement?
yeah. It was the athlete's turn. So Warren Sapp lost his job, sexual assault. Probably going to be
Anybody that worked for NFL Network.
Warren Sapp, Marshall Falk, Donovan McNabb. We'll miss you, Donovan. Donovan McNabb. Who else? Who else was in that? A lot of
Simmons of Kiss.
lot of football players caught sexting one person in the NFL scandal. There was a story that came out about how basically was not in the article, but there was a Boston Globe article that came out about ESPN and how basically that is the Fox News of sports, basically with how they treat some women. So there was that. There's a couple more things that we didn't get to. I think we're gonna talk Tavis Smiley tonight. No, I know it's not on the topic, but we will talk about that. We haven't talked about we've given that a break due to requests because we covered that a little bit too much. But Tavis Smiley is just so regarded in our community that we got to talk about Tavis Smiley. So we'll get to that in a couple of episodes from now. But the tax bill passed. Eventually, we'll get to that. And it's just been so much. It's hard to keep track.
It's 45. What do you expect?
But moving on to our next topic, tinfoil hat alert. This is tinfoil hat. I think this is our first tinfoil hat / borderline tinfoil hat topic in a while on this podcast. And y'all can, Matt and Amina can correct me if I'm wrong. If there was another tinfoil hat thing that I brought to the forefront on this podcast, and I don't remember. But guys, put your tinfoil hats on, or put your "We Hate the Patriots" shirts and hoodies on. Were the Steelers cheated out of a victory? Matt, take off.
Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers were cheated out of a victory. That was a catch. It was a catch. I don't care how you slice it. I don't know what the rules say. That was a catch. He had full possession, full control, and he reached out and stretched out for a touchdown. Now, any sane person in their right mind would have stretched out for an extra 6 points. I don't blame the man. I mean, you can sit here and try to, look at it in so many different angles and say, you know what, from the naked eye, and you magnified it, you cleared it up and did everything you could. And you know what? I'm sticking with the fact that it's a catch. But you know what? It's the New England Patriots. They find ways to cheat you every stinking time. Whether it's the tuck rule, where you name it. Tuck rule, Spygate. It's the New England. Any crazy thing that happens, it's the New England Patriots. They always find a way to cheat you. Always. And you know what? That was a catch. I don't care what anybody says. That was a catch. Look, y'all can hit me up at Small Red Horn all y'all want. I'm telling y'all right now, that was a catch. And I believe that was a catch. I think he had full possession. He had full possession and reached out. And his hand was under the football, in my opinion. His hand was under the football. And, everybody was saying, it's a touchdown. They're saying, wait a minute, this is taking longer than it's supposed to be. Come back, it's not a catch. Like, really? Seriously. For all you, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm saying this right now. That's New England. It was all New England. They set that up. That's all New England. But that was a catch. I'm sticking by that. It, it, it I'm done. I'll say this. I'm done with it. I'm done.
Fake news, fake news, fake news alert. It was not a catch. You got to control the ball to the ground. No,
Lord.
I can't say that. I can't say that seriously. I'm joking.
I'm about to say though, maybe come up to 29.5 to come and put my foot somewhere. I will do it.
Well, you bring it, brother. You bring it right here. You step
I'm glad you were joking. I was about to get jumped for that one.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely a catch, and everybody's talking about it. They talked about it on Inside the NFL on Showtime. They're talking about it on all the sports broadcasts from 97.5 to 94.1. They're like, I don't know what a catch is anymore, and they are right about that. What the
I don't even know what a catch is anymore. I mean, I don't know what a first down is anymore. You went as far as taking a piece of paper to figure out if it was really a first down or not. This is don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm surrounded by Cowboy fans around here, but don't get me started.
You know what it reminds me of, Matt? It
reminds
me.
Wait.
Listen. Huh?
Jay, before you go, hold up. Yeah, I got one that I think we all can appreciate. Yo, we're Eagles and Raiders fans. You know the only calls we're used to from refs is penalties. That's all. That's the only calls we're used to.
Say it again, brother. Say it again. I mean,
but you know what? I gotta say this.
I gotta say this.
I gotta say this, Steve. You have to remember. Well, but historically, for the Raiders, they're the criminal element of the National Football League because of the history that they have. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, brother. Don't be sorry, brother. Do not be sorry. Speak the truth. You look at you free.
From the 60s to the 80s, they have been the Ravens. The Ravens has been the Raiders. Oakland Raiders has been the criminal element of the NFL and has preceded them since up to this point. Okay, now as far as the Patriots are concerned, they have been cheaters. They have been conspiracy theory, and you have to Mr. Coach Hoodie here.
And the league helps them. The league helps them cheat.
Matt, say that. That's the next question about whether they're cheaters or just beneficiaries. Save it. Go ahead, Dre. Finish your thoughts. We can get to it.
What did my team do?
Your team got cheated.
I know.
Yeah, they absolutely got cheated, and it's absurd. You know,
blame Jerry Jones for that one.
They want to keep Belichick and Tom Brady on their pedestal. God forbid they come down for being the greatest coach and the greatest quarterback to ever play in the game. It's such BS, man. Like, I love it when players say, how could you give somebody that title? Because guess what? Y'all play with a set of rules now that we didn't play with back then. I was getting my head knocked off, and I still had to throw a touchdown. So how you gonna compare me to him? They tapped Tom Brady. Oh, flag on the play. They touched Tom Brady. You got to be kidding me, man. The guy wearing Ugg boots?
That was a catch. That was a catch. That was a catch. I don't care what it said. That was a catch. Plain and simple. That was a CATCH. A catch.
Yeah, it was a catch. That's all I gotta say. It was a catch.
Amina.
This better be good.
Oh, ain't that sweet? Yeah, they were robbed out of a game. They were winning, and the last quarter it was just snatched from them out of nowhere.
You being too nice. You being too nice right now. You being way too nice.
Man, I'm trying to be as nice as possible because it was so sad.
No. I'm sorry. Your Raiders got screwed.
I'm not talking about my team. I'm talking about the Steelers. Steelers, they did get robbed. I mean, they played against deflatable Brady. And they just got snatched. The NFL was always going to be like this until he retires. There's nothing else to say. It was so head. Like, really? Teams just can't get through to these Patriots. I swear. They did. It was a catch, and it was robbed from them, as you said, Matt. It was just so unfortunate. I felt bad for the Steelers. Their game was just robbed from them. They should have won that game. But the NFL, they don't want Tom Brady to be losing games, so they gave it to them. They didn't earn it. As far as my guys, yes, we were robbed on our own turf. I can't. I haven't even recovered from it.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of too? This is what I wanted to say. It reminds me of, y'all remember that Super Bowl commercial where the referee kept rewinding the tape, but the referee was a zebra, and the Cowboys were in the background. Was like, this referee is a real jackass. That's exactly what these referees are.
Listen, it definitely was a catch, but I'll remind y'all as I reminded the people that I was talking to the barbershop today that we all sound like Cowboys fans because the first team to be robbed by this rule, even though we all hate them, even though everybody in here hates them, the first team that was robbed by this rule was the Cowboys. And we should have known this rule was going to be a problem for everybody else's team once it screwed the quote unquote America's team or the accident waiting to happen, as Stephen A. Smith would call it. So ever since then, it seems like every year, ever since the Cowboys got screwed, and I really hate saying that as an Eagles fan, but ever since the Cowboys got screwed, it seems like every team somehow, some way gets screwed by this rule about the ground, about the process of the catch. And even before then, Calvin Johnson got robbed too. But the most high profile.
I know. I have to admit. You have to admit. We all knew and thought that was a catch, but that got overturned, and we as Eagle fans snickered. You knew you snickered because it was the Cowboys. You knew it, you enjoyed it, and now it just permeates all over the league. In fact, you got Cowboy fans here that says that was a catch, and unfortunately, we have to agree with it. But they're Cowboy fans, so it doesn't matter.
No, it's true, man. It's true. I had to admit today that yes, it was a catch, but everybody sounded like how half the people complained that they ain't even Steelers fans. That's the problem. Like we're complaining about this call. We're not even Steelers fans. That's how bad this call is. Even people that don't root for the Steelers.
Well, no, because we know good football when we see it, and we don't want to see a bad product because guess what? It's going to be a snowball effect. And this is going to keep getting worse and worse unless we speak up about it. Just like the injustice. That's why they had the whole movement of kneeling at the national anthem.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm just saying. But we knew this rule was going to be a problem. Since then, it's proven to be a problem. Luckily, it hasn't happened to the Eagles yet. But, it's proven
yet.
It's proven to be a problem since then. And so I think it's time for them to change the rule. They need to change the rule come next year or come 2018, change the rule. But, yeah, the Steelers got robbed. To answer the question, yeah, the Steelers definitely got robbed. But as my barber said, who's a big Steelers fan, it really shouldn't have come to that. The Steelers defense was definitely missing Ryan Shazier. And you can't allow Rob Gronkowski to make 3 catches consecutively over the middle without some kind of hit or some kind of payback to that. But
or at least some double coverage, at least something.
It is what it is. Like I said, the barbershop, I had a couple people disagree with me.
He was running free. I almost thought nobody was covering Robert Gronkowski.
If Ryan Shazier was there, he wouldn't have been doing that. But because Ryan Shazier had that spinal stenosis and probably will not, I'm only saying this probably, emphasis on the probably, they say he might struggle walking. So, who knows if he'll ever be able to play football again. So, I just feel like the Steelers were missing a lot more. And I agree that they got cheated. But as my barber said tonight, it never should have come to that. Ben Roethlisberger can't be throwing an interception within the last 5 seconds. but they did get cheated. Two things in this case, because of sports, two things can be right at the same time and not be mutually exclusive. Yes, the Steelers got cheated. Also, Ben Roethlisberger should have spiked the ball. Two things can be true at the same time within the same drive, within minutes of each other. So moving right along to our next question, which is basically a yes or no question, with maybe like a minute of exposition after that. Let's keep this short, y'all. So guys, are the Patriots cheaters or just beneficiaries? I'll start. They're cheaters, man. I really try to say it nicely, but ever since Spygate, it's been hard to shake the feeling that somehow the Patriots do what they gotta do to get a leg up. So yeah, they're cheaters. They're not beneficiaries. They cheat. Go ahead, Matt.
They are. Look, you already know where I stand with this. I already said it earlier. They have been cheating since their first Super Bowl. No, actually their second. They've been cheating. Look, you already know where I stand with this. Dre.
They cheaters. But I have to play a little devil's advocate here, and I have to say this: every team cheats. Every team tries to read the mouth of the coach and try to figure out their plays.
No. Let me stop you there. See, yes, every team does that to get you want to get ahead or an advantage in some way, shape, or form. It's the way they did it. So as far as
but it's cheating, Matt. Matt, is that cheating?
No, it's not cheating.
Man,
no.
Man, come on. You can't do that, man. You can't play the hand when it benefits you. You gotta play the whole time.
Look. If you're giving away a tell, you think I'm not gonna sit here and not take it? I'm gonna take.
That's not my question to you, man. Are you doing something you shouldn't be doing?
Look, as far as I'm concerned,
yeah, your silence is gold, man. The fact that you was quiet that whole time.
Wait, hold on. I'll say this. Let me be quick with this. In baseball, right? Stealing signs is part of the game. It's a game within the game. Okay. If for some reason I can say, you know what, he's gonna throw a fastball, I'm gonna relay that in some way, shape, or form. Yo, he's waiting for a fastball's coming. Gear up. Or hey, yo, curveball's coming. I see that. It's up to the opposing team to realize, OMG, they're picking up my signals. I need to change it up or be more discreet about it. What the Patriots did, they took it to a whole new level of disrespect. That part of cheating, I don't condone. But other than sign stealing and everything, that's a game within the game within the game. That's different. That's different versus what those bastards are doing.
Man, I don't disagree with you on that, but I will say this: that they're not superhuman. You can, just like they outthink you, you can outthink them. And the Falcons should have never allowed them to come back in the Super Bowl. Run the ball, just like they did the Seahawks. Run the ball.
Just to add to this before Mina come in, I just want to say this: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's the saying that I heard from somebody. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Go ahead, Amina. Amina, you there? Oh.
I was being nice with the Raiders. I mean, being very nice with the Raiders.
We heard.
Because I put myself on mute. But yeah, they're cheaters. I mean, they cheat, all throughout regular seasons. They cheat during playoffs. They cheat during Super Bowls. They cheat. They're just the national cheaters team. It is what it is. I mean, they play teams. The teams are meant to win, and it gets down to the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, and bam, they snatch games away. Hell, in all honesty, they cheated the Eagles out of their first out of a Super Bowl win in 2005.
Thank you, Amina. Thank you, Amina.
Amen.
Thank you, Amina.
Is this some type of groundbreaking moment? Anyway, yeah, just going back on YouTube, just viewing, past um NFL games and Super Bowls. I watched the Super Bowl game from 2005 quite recently on YouTube, and the Eagles should have won that game. The Patriots, they it was given to them. I mean, the score was 24-21. Like, come on, like the Patriots, they didn't even wake up until the second quarter, the second half of the game. So I feel bad for teams when they play against the Patriots, including mine. I mean, my team, we were robbed this season by the Patriots. It was so sad watching my team play them. I had to stop watching the game. It was that heartbreaking. Third was the score. I cannot. The Patriots gotta go. They gotta go. Dallas gotta go. They all gotta go. It is just not happening. I'd be more happier if the NFL was just 30 teams. Quite frankly, no one needs Dallas and no one needs New England. It is what it is.
All right, moving right along to our next question. So, guys, the president of ESPN resigned due to substance abuse. What's our thoughts, John Skipper? I'll start. It was weird, man, hearing about this stuff with John Skipper, because it seemed like the news just came out that there might be some weird stuff going on with gender and sexual relations at ESPN, and now this man is stepping down almost not even a week later. I know he did some good stuff. He was the one that really wanted more African Americans represented on ESPN. That's why Jamel Hill and Michael Smith have a show. He was a big fan of them. But it was big, man. It's big to lose your president right before the new year, and big to lose him due to sex. Whoa, hold up, that's sexual. Due to substance abuse, and it's a lot, it's. Whew, man, it's heavy, and I know a lot of ESPN anchors took it hard because he was one of the people that gave them jobs. Like I said, he was really in the diversity initiatives and expanding the reach of ESPN, and it's a shame, but that just shows you, man, all the money in the world can't buy happiness. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, as far as what's been going on at ESPN and their movement of it, look, substance abuse hits no gender, no race, no, not even employment status, and how far advanced you are in your employment status. This is a real thing, and this cannot be ignored. I did not read this fully, but from my understanding, this is something that is very serious, and if it's causing this brother to not be able to do his job effectively, to where and needs to take care of this by removing himself, I'm all for it. Like I said, I didn't read the full report. I didn't read the full article as much as I would like to, but my short understanding is, from my take of it so far, is you gotta take care of yourself before you can take care of everybody else, let alone a crew of people. And if he's getting the help that he needs in order to live a full life, I'm all for it. Like I said, I haven't read the full report yet. I haven't read the full article or seen anything of it. However, but if he's getting the help that he needs by removing himself, by all means, I'm all for it. any one of y'all two want to go ahead, like Amina or Drag, as you know, this is serious business.
Um, hold on. Kylan just inbox. John Skipper resigns from being the president of ESPN due to substance abuse. Kylan had inboxed me about it. At first, he thought it was sexual assault, and I was like, "Whoa!" But then he backtracked to that it was substance abuse, and I said, "Okay, it's still bad, but it's not as horrid as sexual abuse." But to me, it's going to be like a shakedown at ESPN eventually. I mean, this is ESPN's president, well, former president, because he just resigned. But ESPN is having all these problems going on. The ratings aren't A1 like they used to be. Viewership is down. Women are coming out on a regular basis to state how their employment has or still is going on behind the scenes as far as sexual assault. Now, a president of the organization steps down because of substance abuse. Um, yeah, things are eventually going to. I don't want to necessarily tank at ESPN, but it's going to be change of platform and format. Um, and it's even going to be more intense because they're going to have to reinvent themselves as an organization to cater to the modern generation. Because, as I've said in a recent podcast, that people aren't watching ESPN like on television anymore. No one turns their television on and flips to ESPN and actually sits there and watches it anymore. Some do still, but most don't. These days, concerning ESPN, people view it on YouTube, their phone, their tablet, their laptop. ESPN on the go. It's no longer ESPN sitting in your living room or your bedroom and watching it. So a whole lot of old people and old ways are leaving ESPN, and hopefully new things come on. But yeah, very unfortunate that ESPN is getting such a bad rap in the media lately. But hey, whatever happens in the dark comes to the light, and that's what goes on.
My thoughts on this, John Skipper. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the fact that he really recognized he has a problem. Like they said, that's always the first step. I applaud him. I think he's leading by example in this. And he was called to be a leader, like so. He's really doing what great leaders do. You know, they hold themselves accountable more than they hold their employees accountable. I think he should come back. Like if he gets help and he's moves past the issues he has, the substance abuse, I think he should come back because I think that's the kind of leader you want. The one that says, "I'm not gonna blame other people. I'm gonna start with myself." Like Michael Jackson says, and take a look in the mirror and change yourself before you change the world. Like I think it's pretty noble what he did because he had a contract to 2021. I'm reading the article and I'm like, that's pretty fly. Like how many white men you know got a contract to 2021? Got an issue, you're gonna step down and say, you know what, I need to take care of this issue more and I need to lead ESPN.
All right, so moving right along to our Eagles versus Giants analysis. I'll start. The Eagles versus Giants, man. The Eagles look like from the early half they need to wake up. They look like you would have if you would have told me that the Eagles, even though they were losing at one point by 20 points, that they would come back, and just throttle the Giants in the second half. I would have said, and the defense is performing well. I would have said, well, this seemed like a trap game, especially after Carson Wentz. But the Eagles definitely pulled it out thanks to Nick Foles. Thanks to some timely plays by Ronald Darby, who's currently public enemy number one right now on public radio and everything. But I I I feel like the Eagles are doing fine. They just need to shore up the defense as far as learning how to tackle better and just being able to play defense, being able to stay in your coverage on your coverage assignments during the game. But other than that, I'm happy the Eagles won. One more game away from clinching, man. And that's all I really have to say. Go ahead, man.
All right. Seeing what I saw, particularly in my location that I'm in right now, because I, I thankfully know somebody I knew that hooked me up to see the game. My biggest concern was the defense. That was my biggest concern in that game. And Jim Schwartz reading Jim Schwartz talking about he was glad that what happened in that game happened in that game. Because what if it was the playoffs and we lost that game? So defensively is where I'm very much more concerned about, and playing against the Philadelphia, playing against the when we do play against Oakland. Sorry, Amina.
Matt, let's not do the hypothetical game. I can't stand it.
I said Oakland.
No, you said,
But,
what if it was the playoffs? That's what you said.
now here's my point. If it was the playoffs and we played like that, the who knows what could have been. But I'm glad it happened now, so you can really fix and tune up what needs to be done. I mean, you're gonna have a bad game defensively. That's gonna happen. But I'm glad it happened now versus later. So my biggest concern is the defense. They need to tune that up and tune that up on the quickness. Turn it around and go back out there home facing the Raiders and the Cowboys. So that's where my mindset is on defensively. Offensively, it is Nick. We'll talk about that later, but that's my big concern. Big concern is the defense.
Um, Eagles versus Giants game. Eagles played down to their competition. They played like they were 11-2. They played like they could give a lackluster effort and win the game. That's that's what they played like. And then when they started to realize they was about to lose that game, and they saw themselves down when it was 20-7 at one point. Yeah, they said, you know what? No, we can't lose to these dudes. First of all, they're in our conference, so this is a rivalry, and we can't let them hang that over our head. Um, like Matt said, I'm glad it happened now, so you can learn. Like, all right, we can't take teams lightly because it's the NFL. Everybody gets paid to play, and people don't want to take this into account, but I have to take it into account. Those dudes is fighting for their jobs, so they're gonna come out there and throw the kitchen sink in. They were fighting for their jobs, especially Eli. Eli probably like, I want to show teams that I still got it because I know I'm probably not gonna be here next year. I don't think Eli wants to finish playing. I don't think he's finished playing football mentally. Now, if this probably happens to him again, he gets benched, and he probably like, you know what, I'm good. I ain't gonna keep doing my thing dirty. I'm a man, damn it.
I mean, that's all you.
Y'all pretty much said what needs to be said about Eagles and Giants. Just with defense, it was kind of lacking, and I you can't really blame anybody for it because it was their first game um since Carson Wentz went down. So it was just a change of, the balance of the team. But they did well pretty overall.
All right, y'all. We're gonna hit our last few Philadelphia topics, and we'll get to the developments with Michaela Maroney and see if we want to cover Tam Smiley or not today. All right, so we have. So, guys, are the Eagles just as unstoppable with Foles offensively? Yeah. Go ahead, Matt. Actually, Matt, I'll start. Never mind. Yes, I think so. I think they are. I think they are just as unstoppable because this seems like the system fits Nick Foles very well. I know we had it in Kansas City, but it just fits him like a glove. He threw 4 touchdowns. Like him and Carson Wentz are the only 2 quarterbacks in Eagles history to throw for 4 touchdowns, back to back. So it's amazing how pass heavy this offense is. Now I said it last week. Andre disagreed, but I'll say it again this week. Please, Doug Peterson and Frank Resch, I need y'all to get a more balanced playbook. Use those big hosses that we have. Use Jay Ajayi. Use LeGarrette Blount. It's time to be balanced, man. There's no reason.
I didn't disagree with about running the ball. Did I?
Now you disagreed on the need for balance in the playbook.
Well, I listen. That was a mistake. Because I definitely think we need balance.
Yeah, some more running, man. So I'm all for it. It does seem like they're just as unstoppable with Nick Foles. Now, the only thing I think Nick Foles needs to clean up is the connection with Alshon and Zach Ertz. But once he cleans that up, as far as making sure that the pass routes are good, that they're on point, and that just comes from more reps. So, but I think they're just as unstoppable with Nick Foles. We'll see. He doesn't turn the ball over, so I have no reason to think that all of a sudden he'll start turning the ball over. But the next game is against the Raiders, and we'll see. I'm taking it. I'm like me. I'm just taking it one game at a time, and the next game is close it out. Close it out Monday Night Football against her Raiders. So go ahead, Matt.
Well, I'm telling you that right now. This team is fine. This team is fine. Just relax. Just relax. Watch this. You're watching basically an Andy Reid style offense. That's what I've said it last year. I'm saying it again this year. This is the Andy Reid offense. Yes, it is pass heavy, but they have been running the ball more. Now we've noticed that Doug is being pass happy a little bit, but he has come back to earth, saying that do not, and he hasn't yet abandoned the run. Don't abandon the run. Don't do it. So this team can be stopped. The only team that can stop them is the Eagles. So, with that being said, here you go. Oh, they will. Oh, they will go far. They will go very, very far. I expect them to go far. But, sorry, correct myself. And Nick Foles, mind you, can get the job done. We've seen it before. We've seen this before. Okay, this is not that guy from Oregon. Okay, that was running this team. This is a Nick Foles is a more than qualified quarterback to lead this team to where this team has got to go. And let me tell you something. Frank Wright is the right man to spearhead the OC position because he's been there before. He's been there before when Jim Kelly went down. And he took that Bills team to the Super Bowl as a backup. So the experience is there. And I expect Nick Foles to not so much duplicate, but to do the job that's necessary to get this team to where it got to go. Point blank.
Right.
Yeah. I love you, Colin. I love you, Matt. Y'all know I love y'all. From the bottom of my heart, I love you dudes. I didn't even know what y'all smoking. I must be smoking the same stuff that Papa John's is smoking. The guy,
You better not use any blasphemy. You better not use any blasphemy that come out of those words. You better be very lightly. You better tread lightly, son.
So the Eagles are not the same team without Carson Wentz. We know that. He is now. He extends plays. Period. Nick Foles maybe an extended play here and there, but not like Carson Wentz. He's not going to roll out and run for 20 yards. He's not going to do that. He's not going to roll out and throw a 60-yard pass. He's not. Well, he may be able to do that, but he's not going to do it. He's not going to be able to. So clearly, Carson Wentz is the better quarterback, and the Eagles are not as strong. But I agree with you on the point that the Eagles are fine because I believe Nick Foles is a starter in this league. We've seen so many bad quarterbacks. We know starters. Like he can definitely start in this league. Now I think he's limited on certain things that he can do. You know, he really needs a good offensive line. He needs his line to protect him. If he has, well, I mean, that's any quarterback. If you got a bad offensive line, you're bound to get hurt. You're bound to throw an interception or crack under pressure, start throwing balls everywhere, but where they need to be. But I totally agree the Eagles are fine, but he's not Carson Wentz, and the Eagles aren't a better team.
I gotta stop you there. I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you right here. Let me tell you something. To sit here and to think, well, we have Nick Foles, who is a who's just as well qualified, if not more than qualified, to lead this team, but he's not Carson Wentz.
I ain't say this is well qualified. I say he's a good quarterback. He's a starter in this league. That's what I say. Don't misquote me, son.
I didn't misquote you, but the point but you have to remind you, Nick Foles, yes, as you say, he is a starting quarterback anywhere in this league. But yes, we all know he's not Carson Wentz. He's a taller quarterback. He's more of a drop back passer that so happens to run. Okay, so offensively, the scheme hasn't changed. The plays hasn't changed. Matt,
it's only one game. Y'all getting hype off of one game on a bad team. The Giants are a bad team.
Hey,
look at their ratings. They're ranked 29th in the league. They're horrible. It's a bad team. If he did that against the Patriots, look, I'll be right behind you. Let's go, Nick. Let's go.
But you remember, don't forget, 7 touchdown passes against the Oakland Raiders 4 years ago.
4 years ago, man. It remains to be seen. The jury's still out, man. And listen, I'm not going against my team, but I know. Listen, I can do the eye test, and I know my eyes is telling me. Nick Foles ain't Carson Wentz.
No, really? I thought he was still Joe Montana.
Be quiet, man.
Listen, just to be clear before I let Matt go, nobody's saying that, that Nick Foles will usurp Carson Wentz. Nobody's saying that. But all I'm saying is they just as unstoppable with Nick Foles. Now, can Nick Foles run for 60 yards? Obviously not. He's not going to all of a sudden discover that he's got the legs of a combination of Donovan McNabb,
Michael Vick, baby.
Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick. It's not gonna happen. But I've seen enough to know he doesn't turn the ball over. We've seen him when he played for us. It's not like he was a turnover machine. Like I like Nick Foles. I think he could take us deep enough. He didn't turn the ball over last week. He didn't turn the ball over when he was the Eagles starting quarterback. All I'm saying is with this offensive line and this defense, they can take him far. We've seen it before where QBs that were basically backups a la Peyton Manning when he won it the second
And
time.
to be clear, I don't disagree with you on that. To be clear, I don't disagree with you on that.
Was carried by the defense. Nobody. I'm not saying that he's better than Carson Wentz. I'm just saying that Nick Foles can do very, very well in this Kansas City Chiefs-like offense we got here.
It's an Andy Reid offense.
Right. It's a more balanced Andy Reid offense is what it is. And it needs to be way more balanced. Go ahead, Amina.
Yeah, the team isn't, of course, the same without Carson Wentz. The balance has been thrown off, and it showed when he played the Giants a little bit. But Nick Foles, he has the ability to take the team far. I mean, he's been to playoffs before, and he may not be what people are used to this season, but gotta give the man a chance. I mean, he's what the Eagles have at the moment. So yeah, he's a great quarterback. I mean, he's different. He's not the same, but he has led teams to playoffs. So he's not a loser quarterback. He has proven himself record wise.
You better watch your mouth too. You better watch your mouth too. I got my eye on you.
Matt, I am. That's why I tread lightly. But anyway, he's a good quarterback. I mean, you can't deny the fact that the man has been to playoffs.
All right, I lied. We're going in order again. I want to get Matt's take on this before he bounces. Matt, what's your take on Michaela Maroney and her allegations? Well, her lawsuit against the USA Gymnastics and the Olympic Committee, where she alleges that they covered up, and basically, I think she's saying, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I believe she's saying is that they knew about it and they covered it up. The Olympic Committee and U.S. Gymnastics. Well, what do you think about that?
Look, I'm not.
Wait a minute. Before you go, you know, I gotta do this disclaimer every time we do sexual assault stuff. Nobody in this podcast. I think I can speak for all of us when I say this. Nobody in this podcast supports sexual assault in any way. The views reflected in this is just the views of the individual. You know, we gotta do that. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Thank you for the disclaimer. Over time, I've gotten sick and tired of the same of all of it. The Me Too movement and everything else that goes along with it. The one thing that really bothers me with it is how
it boils your grit.
Weber?
That's the one thing that really boils your grit.
Yeah, pretty much. Is the slew of men just doing evil, and particularly this young lady suing USA Gymnastics. I'm all for it. You know, this doctor has done a lot of damage over the years, and U.S. Olympic Gymnastics team did nothing about it. Instead, it's like hush. It was like hush money. So I am all for it because what they did was wrong, and they, instead of dealing with it head on, they try to keep it quiet. And you have to, as an organization, you have to pay the price for that. I'm sorry, you got to pay for that. And that, in this case, it may come out of your pocket. Unfortunately, this you only have to suffer emotionally, psychologically, and the like. But I'm glad she stepped forward and taking them to court, letting me know that this is unacceptable as an organization, because they had an obligation to take care of the situation in the manner they're supposed to be taken care of, but no, you didn't. So now you're getting sued. So I'm all for it. Get Do what you gotta do.
Amina? Me neither.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
hmm. Yeah, it seems to be a big a cover up, and I kind of see where it was a cover up. I mean, it's been going on for years with the Olympic team at the what's the word I want to use? Under the direction of now convicted Dr. Larry Nasser. Um, to me, it seems that the Olympics paid these young women to be quiet and hush hush. And I guess when this Me Too movement came out this year, it got really boiled over and they just ca- caved in and said to hell with the money. And I'm going to come forward with my story. But yeah, this story is deeper than Larry Nasser. It's the whole entire Olympics organization that's going to eventually be investigated. And as you've said, Kylan, on air and off air, that this may be the latest Penn State situation where a whole lot of people are investigated, a whole lot of people that are investigated are fired and let go, and money and endorsements are stripped from the Olympics. So this just came out as far as Larry Nassar this year. Like I think it was either last month or possibly October at the earliest. So it's going to be, trickle down effect. I mean, the Penn State scandal happened in 2011. Here we are almost 7 years later, and that school just started to recover from it. So this is just the beginning for the Olympics as far as this whole sex scandal. Going to be seeing a whole lot of young women come forward that have had experiences in the Olympics, sharing their stories, and folks are just going to be in trouble. So I'm not surprised that it was a possible cover up and money was given to her to be quiet. But my thing is, don't accept any money in reference to your story ever, because at that point, when you accept money, it discredits your story and make about an integrity situation. Just come forward with your story. Don't take any money for it. That's what I gotta say about that.
I agree with Amina that you can't accept money for it because none of your integrity is questioned. But it's been a long time coming for the Olympic Committee in so many ways. I mean, if you watch half of the real sports stories they've done on the Olympic Committee and how they treat players and how they treat countries based on the games and building arenas. I mean, they're kicking people out of their homes to build an arena. It's only going to be there for since to the games are there, and as soon as they leave, it becomes an empty stadium. And they spent millions of dollars to build the stadium, and they won't even give it back to the people that they kicked out of the area, so they could have this grand show. And we love the Olympics. Everybody loves the Olympics. I love the Olympics, but I don't love it at the expense of the people ever. I don't love the NFL at the expense of a concussion or somebody going crazy. That now we lost a father, we lost a brother. No. We got to put things back into perspective, and we got to look at our values and our priorities. What do we prioritize more than anything? We prioritize the person, the human being, the love, the what we're gaining as a community and what we're losing as a community. I say hats off to Kate. What's her name? Kayla. Hats off to her for standing up to him. Michaela Maroney. Because I know there's a lot of players that probably were afraid, and they took the money. They took the hush money and they said, I'm gonna live with my demons. But that needs to stop, man. Like, cause otherwise, when you take the money, you're basically saying it's okay for it to happen to somebody else. That's what you're really saying. Your silence can either do great work or do horrible work. We got to stand up to injustice everywhere, though. Like Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
So I think I think Amina and Andre and Matt really summed up what I wanted to say, but I'll just rehash it for a little bit. Yeah, it definitely is turning into Penn State. It's very reminiscent of Penn State. If you guys remember before they investigated it, everybody thought Penn State. Well, a lot of people thought Penn State was innocent, but then as more stuff came out, they found the financial records of proof that it was there and who knew. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are now in jail. I think the president and the former AD are in jail now. So many people have lost their jobs and lost their way because of that scandal at Penn State. And as Amina said, they're just now recovering from it. Almost, 6 years later now, going on 7. And it's just amazing. It's just not even good. And that was just I think that was just boys as far as who Darius Sandusky assaulted. Now this is Michaela Maroney, a silver medalist, former gold medalist, coming out and saying, he molested me and losing a lot for that. Because there's a culture of silence that runs deep within the Olympics committee and the gymnastics team. And for her to break that and be so brave, man, I send my kudos to her, guys, as everybody said, because she's gonna open herself up to so much stuff. They're gonna say she asked for it. They're gonna talk about how promiscuous she was as a 15-year-old, how old she was when she went to the Olympics, and she's just putting herself out there. And I have to believe her, because you wouldn't put yourself out there, everything you got to lose as far as your name and everything, because you're still Michaela Maroney, the silver medalist and the gold medalist in team. But you're gonna say that. I gotta believe her, man. She has everything to lose in this situation. It's a shame what we do to these athletes. Like, we ask them, we ask these parents. I think I said this on the podcast before, to trust us with the most important trust of them, their children. The U.S. Olympic team and the U.S. Olympic Committee didn't do a good job of protecting this child, and probably many more just like her. And it's a shame. It really is shame, 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 shame. Yeah, so we're just going to combine the last two questions, which are all Sixers related. So, guys, what's wrong with the 76ers? And the second question after that is Ben Simmons really cut out to be a point forward? Go ahead, Dre.
Such a loaded question. What's wrong with the Sixers? Is Ben Simmons a point forward? Well, a couple things wrong with the Sixers. You can't keep shelving your best player in your team in and out of the game because you're afraid he's going to get hurt and maybe end his career. You got to roll the dice, man. Like, you picked the guy. You knew he was injury prone. We have to deal with it now. I know you gave him extension and all that, and you don't want him to turn to Greg Oden or other players like him. And I also believe it's bad coaching. I love Brett Brown. I do. But he got to go. It's just that simple. He got to go. He has a culture of being a player's coach, which is fine if you're a player's coach. But you have to be. It's a fine line between being a player's coach and being a pushover. And he's so much of a pushover. Like the shots that Robert Covington shoots from the 3-point line are ridiculous sometimes. Like he just comes down and just pulls up. Like, dude, you want to run the play first? You want to get the ball around? You want to turn down a good shot or okay shot for a great shot or a bad shot? Like you got to realize this is such a team game, but everybody's so worried about their points and they're so worried about, oh, I can hit threes. Yeah, anybody can hit threes. Okay, what do you freaking do? But can you hit them like consistently at a good percentage? And could you make a career off it like the Golden State Warriors do? Or shoot, a OKC or a Houston Rockets team. Ben Simmons a point forward. You gotta give him time. And I think the same thing is true. I don't think he's being coached well enough to where we can really determine whether or not he's a point forward. A true point forward needs to be coached better than Brett Brown's coaching him. He would a real coach would demand that he shoot. No. I know you're gonna miss him because you're still developing your jump shot. That's what we practice for, son. You gotta do it in the games now. I need you to keep putting them up. We're not gonna worry about you missing. Guess what? We losing games already. What's gonna happen? We gonna win a game? Oh snap! Oh man. So the Sixers they gotta play out Joel Embiid, and Brett Brown either has to step up to the plate and coach better, or you gotta go in a new direction. We can't keep going doing this. We can't keep having the lead in the fourth quarter and then losing. We can't keep averaging 22 turnovers in the last 5 games. Come on.
Amina?
Yes, Matt says that the Sixers they need to close out games makes no damn sense. That's what he says. But what I have to say
Tell Matt to
is,
get out of my head.
huh?
Tell Matt to get out of my head. That's what I was tell Matt to get out of my head.
Well, what I have to say is that there's nothing wrong with the Sixers as far as saying they're in rebuild phase. They have the firepower to get the job done compared to the last several years of Sixers teams. But their number one problem is the obvious situation is that they don't know how to close out games. They have a coach that does not know how to coach too well. With any sports team, major sports, soccer, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, the game does the game does not end until the buzzer buzzes at the last second. That's when the game ends. But the Sixers, they get to the fourth quarter and that's when they quit. That's not how you play basketball. You play basketball the entire 4 quarters and then you win a game. They need to work on just closing out games. Their offense is there, defense is there, but they don't know how to close out games. And it's sick how they lose games by 1 point, 2 points that they should have won. It's crazy. The coach either needs to get shape up or ship out because it's ridiculous. But just work on learning how to close out games, and they'll be good. If they can accomplish that, then they can be definitely playoff contenders, but not right now.
And for the Sixers, I was at that game, last night, and for the Sixers, I totally agree on what Andre said about Covington. For the Sixers, this year for the Sixers is basically them building a team as far as learning a winning team, I should say. They have a good team, they have good assets, but they're learning how to win now, and that takes time. And, without Joel Embiid, it's like that team is just a different team. It's Ben Simmons' team, and Ben Simmons turns the ball over a little too much. He's got a little too much. I said this before in my church, and it got me in trouble because a lot of people don't agree with me. He got a little bit too Russell Westbrook like carelessness with the ball for me. Like I watched so many times that game yesterday live and in person where a double team was coming and he tried to split the double team and wound up losing the ball. Or he made a stupid pass, a stupid flashy pass when we didn't need it and caused us to turn the ball over. It's like I'm watching somebody who's the perfect combination of LeBron and Westbrook. Like he's got all the basketball IQ of LeBron, all the physicality and physicalness and toughness of a Westbrook. Just has it all put together. I like Ben Simmons. I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to take him down. But it's just that he turns the ball over too much. And that loss is not all on him. As I said, it's on Covington shooting unnecessary shots. It's on a lot of things. It's a combination of things. But the
Amir
main
Johnson. There's a bunch of players that be pulling it up. The only one should be hitting pulling up on threes like that is JJ Redick.
he ain't
He's a
even
proven 3-point shooter.
and he ain't
Everybody
even,
else? No.
he didn't even play yesterday. But listen, like they're learning. Embiid will start playing again, but you know, I hope it's really an Embiid. Like, we know this is a year where the Sixers are going to learn how to win and everything come together next year. But the Sixers definitely need to learn how to win. They need to get some veterans in here with a ring, sort of build the team like the Eagles did. Get some people with rings, build the culture, draft, and just do
And they need to stop lying to us too, Colin. Stop waiting to the game time to tell us whether he's going to play or not. That's all a marketing tool to get people in the seats.
They do need to. They do need to
Stop playing, man. Be honest with us.
Yep, they are not doing themselves any favor. But yeah, like the Sixers, what's wrong with the Sixers? They don't know how to win. They don't know how to tell Covington to not shoot ill-advised threes, and they turn the ball. The main reason they keep losing is they turn the ball over too much. Like if Ben Simmons can actually learn how to take care of the ball, if the rest of the team can learn how to take care of the ball, they'd win games. Because there's no reason you should blow a 22-point lead like they did yesterday. You're not the Warriors. You can't overcome that. You know it's ridiculous. But
we're losing to bad teams like Timberwolves and stuff. Like no, that's a bad team, yo.
But you know the Sixers got to learn how to win, and this is the year that they're gonna learn how to do that. Hopefully, they can play together once they're healthy and make the playoffs. And Ben Simmons just needs to play his pure, be a small forward who can pass, but in the role of a small forward. All right, guys, that officially marks the end of our second to last show of 2017. A couple days before Christmas. I hope a lot of y'all are have gotten your Christmas shopping done if you celebrate. And if not, may God be in your favor as you travel to get your stuff. I know some of y'all like the rush of last minute shopping. I don't understand how you do it, but I know some of y'all like that rush. So good luck. May the odds forever be in your favor. Have a great weekend, a great Christmas weekend. Merry Christmas to all. Happy Kwanzaa. Like I said earlier, happy end of Hanukkah and Happy New Year. And thank you for a year, a successful year, 63 episodes. Next week will be 64. I want to thank Amina, Andre, and Matt, and Matt for coming through. Y'all just have a very and not counting a robbery to come and hang out with me on Friday, talk some sports. So everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe. Merry Christmas. Deuces.